The family of the late former Zambian President Edgar Lungu has announced that Lungu will be buried in South Africa. This after a feud between the family and the Zambian government not reaching an agreement on how to send off the former leader. Lungu died in South Africa while receiving a specialized medical treatment. And for more on this, we are now joined by SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena, and she joins us now via our telephone line. Sophie, thank you so much for your time this evening. Let's start off here. I mean, firstly, let's get the latest coming out from the Zambian government. They have refuted these claims that they have indeed cancelled the mourning period for Zambians.
Yes, it's a bit confusing because when President Hakainde Hichilema spoke this week, he indicated that they've called off the mourning period because when you look at what's prescribed in terms of protocols in Zambia, the mourning period for former presidents is 7 days, and 7 days had lapsed, and he did expand that time. But now in this statement they are clarifying that, but they are not outright explaining whether the mourning period is continuing or is it just a clarity in terms of the process that unfolded. It would have been better if promised the Zambian government spokesperson had agreed to come on air to really clarify this statement, because it's quite confusing. Many people called me, some sending me messages to say, we see what you posted on X, but this is not so clear in terms of whether the mourning period, does it continue, or is this clarification of what transpired. And therefore it would have been better if, as promised, they had agreed to speak to SABC, to speak to you, to clarify that statement they issued, which is a bit confusing. Yes, it was extended, but during the week there was information on video, President Hakainde talking about calling off the mourning because there's a decision now. They don't know when will the decision be finally taken by the family. And yesterday we saw the family announcing that the funeral will be in South Africa. What is also puzzling from the family side is that they haven't announced the date yet of the funeral, and therefore it's quite confusing. Do you mourn until when? How can the nation be in mourning without, finishing that period of mourning? Because you don't know when will he be laid to rest. There's no date yet. So you see that kind of a confusion, but also not a good communication between the two, so that the other side can proceed with whatever they want to proceed with, or make changes to alter the announcements. And therefore that has really caused a massive confusion to many people. And truth be told, both sides. You can't say the Zambian government is wrong. The family also is wrong because, for example, they are not communicating in full. It's like somebody is now playing football with a corpse. That's what's happening right now. With the body of a former president, people are now fighting back and forth, arguing, changing views. Everyone exercising her power or his power based on the position the person is occupying. I'm a family, I have a final say. No, as government, this is how we are doing things, and then it contradicts the family. So it's a very, very difficult situation. It's a very, very, but I spoke to one person in Zambia saying that the other leader of the opposition will be coming to South Africa and he will be attending the funeral. It's a small party, but they don't even indicate when are they coming and when is the funeral.
And I mean, Sophie, this confusion comes from the fact that there is, this feud which is ongoing between the family of the former president as well as the Zambian government. How can this issue be resolved?
You know, President Emmerson Mnangagwa is the current chair of SADC. He did send an envoy. He did send his vice president, Constantino Chiwenga, to speak to both parties, particularly because President Mnangagwa was a close friend of President Lungu. And therefore, you would expect Zimbabwe to have access to the family. But also because you're dealing with another state, the other head of state, who's the head of SADC, will have access to the sitting head of state of Zambia. But we are told that there was an agreement and then things fall apart. The same with South Africa. South Africa might be in a bit of a conundrum in a sense that you know that the ANC-led government previously had a relationship with the governing party of President K.K. Kaunda at that time during exile years. But power has since shifted to different oppositions. So it becomes problematic as well to engage. And now South Africa finds itself in a situation where the body is in this country. And what compounds the issue is that this family, the Lungu family, they've bought a house in South Africa now. And therefore, according to the burial rights and death certificates, they have everything now. It's just for them to buy a grave and bury Edgar Lungu. And therefore, the laws of South Africa are clear in the Constitution. You hand over a body to the next of kin. And therefore, South Africa can only hand over the body to the family of Edgar Lungu, not to the government of Zambia. And therefore, South Africa finds itself in that situation. And I think that is why the country had to agree, because even people who reside in South Africa who have passed on, even though they are not citizens of the country, there are people who have been buried here, but most of the time it's ordinary people or people who are in exile or refugees and all of that. So the laws of South Africa say DNA tests and you hand over to the next of kin. And therefore South Africa can't hand over the body to the government of Zambia without permission from the family.
All right.
It's a very difficult one.
All right, Sophie, thank you so much for your time. That's SABC News International Editor there, Sophie Mokoena.